Hi, I'm Anya, and today is a very important day for me. It's July 2nd, 2024, and I'm going home to Ukraine. As per this date, there is an ongoing full scale war in Ukraine. I'm very grateful that I'm alive and I have a chance to live in safety. I haven't been home for more than 2 years now. And one of the reasons why I'm coming back is to take care of some unfinished business. Because when I was leaving, I just left everything behind, all my stuff. Luckily, it's all fine. I still need to take care of some other affairs, let alone my parents are still there. Some of my friends are still there. They live in Kyiv. I'm from Kyiv, and almost everyone I know lives in Kyiv as well. I need some closure. No one has any idea how long it's gonna last. I'm just trying to live on. I think that every Ukrainian who lives in safety now, it's still impossible for all of us to feel at peace. You cannot be peaceful when you know that people you know are in danger, that your country is in danger constantly, and you have no idea when it's gonna be over. I think the best thing to do here is just to try to live your life, and that's what I'm trying to do. It's worth mentioning that this trip is gonna be one of the most long-lasting in my life because there are no flights to Ukraine right now for obvious reasons. So most people are traveling by bus. There are some trains, but it very much depends on where you are in Europe. But most people I know, they've been using bus to get there. I'm in Edmonton right now. I'm gonna go to Amsterdam first. Afterwards, I'm going to Czech Republic, to Prague, to be exact. And from there, I will be going to Kyiv by bus. This trip is gonna take me around 2 days. On the one hand, I really want to go. On the other hand, I've been procrastinating as much as I could because life in Edmonton is very calm and peaceful. And I haven't been traveling anywhere except for by car over the last 2 years. I literally think that I forgot how to navigate in the airport. 8.5 hours to Amsterdam, then 2.5 hours in the airport. I think a little bit more than 2 hours to reach Prague. I'm gonna have a couple of hours there to get to the bus station, and then there's a 24-hour bus ride to Kyiv. I'm an avid planner. There's no such thing for me as an unplanned trip. And I used to have really bad time with accepting the fact that life happens and plans don't always work out the way you expect them to. Luckily enough for me, over the years, I learned to adjust my expectations. Even today, I didn't do everything that I planned to do, and this is totally fine because whatever, who cares? This is life. I still hope that it's gonna be alright. Kyiv is much safer than some other regions of Ukraine, but the problem with Kyiv is that you never know what's gonna happen there. It's very unexpected. It may be okay for a week or a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden it's not. Another thing that complicated things, and I had to adjust my plans already, is that there are stabilizing blackouts right now because Ukrainian electricity infrastructure has been damaged during the war. In order to have enough electricity, government has to enforce planned blackouts. I don't have a place to stay, so I first rented an apartment, and the problem is it's on the 13th floor. That is one of the reasons I had to cancel that booking, and I have rebooked to live in the hotel with a generator. I think I'm more excited than anxious after all. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I would love to film as much as I can. mostly because I have no idea when I'm gonna come back home the next time. So I want to have memories of my hometown, of my home country. And one of the things I realized is how cool Ukraine is, how happy and lucky I was to live in Kyiv. Just wish me luck. I've never had a suitcase tag, but I got one for this trip. Hopefully it's gonna make it easier for me to find my suitcase. And I'm already in my hometown in Kyiv, Ukraine. I apologize for the lighting, it's the best I can get. The trip itself turned out to be very interesting. I've learned a lot and I want to share this with you. The first part of the trip is me traveling from Edmonton to Amsterdam. I was flying with Royal Dutch Airlines. It was my first experience. Overall, everything was just fine. The only thing, it just kind of was a little bit funny to me. We arrived to Amsterdam a little bit earlier than expected. There was like a traffic jam, so after landing, the plane couldn't have approached the gate because there was another plane there. After this traffic jam was over, they did approach the gate, but the funny thing is that first the pilot said that they had trouble approaching the gate. Then a couple minutes later, they were like, okay, we did approach the gate, but there are no people who could connect the plane to the gate. Then they were like, okay, there are people are ready to connect the plane, but there's another problem. There's no one who could open the gate for us. Overall, we've been sitting there for 30 minutes, which is actually not even the longest that I had to spend in the plane that was not even going to fly anywhere. But yeah, that was fine. I had 2.5 hours in this airport before my next flight to Prague. First thing to note is compared to Edmonton airport, this one is just massive. I suppose it is this way because Amsterdam is pretty close to North America, and my assumption is that there are many connecting flights. I would say this is one of the nicest airports I've ever seen. It's been a really pleasant experience because there were so many things you could just look at and have aesthetic pleasure. Everything is very well organized. There are many signs of where to go in this airport. It's very big. So if you ever have a connecting flight, just make sure you have enough time. So for me, 2.5 hours were more than enough. I had to spend, I think, a little bit more than an hour sitting around, but my gate was really far one. It was the 86 out of 87. So you can imagine I had to walk a lot. Overall, great airport, great experience. Flight to Prague was really short, 1 hour, 5 minutes. I really miss this European thing when everything is so close around. My neighboring passenger, he was actually going to Germany, and he said that after landing in Amsterdam, he would take the train right from the airport. He just had to walk a little bit without even leaving the airport. Europe, what can I say? Prague so far was one of the nicest looking cities I've ever seen. I had more than enough time before my bus to Kyiv, but the thing is, I have booked a bus from airport to bus terminal. I had 45 minutes till the moment the plane landed to the moment I had to embark on this bus to the bus terminal. If we have landed later, I would have probably missed the bus, but I did not. Just left the airport 5 minutes before the scheduled bus time, and I had no idea where it was because I had to walk a little bit. So I were at the bus stop 3 minutes before the scheduled time, but eventually it turned out not to be a problem because the bus was late. I was standing there checking the schedule, checking the time, and it was supposed to leave at 2:30. At 2:34, I was like, okay, maybe it's just a little bit late. It happens. Then 5 more minutes later, there were 2 guys who were standing there. They were like, "Are you waiting for this bus here as well?" Because there was a sign. And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Where is it? We're also waiting for it." And I was like, "I don't know." So we've been standing there, and it's been 20 minutes when I said, "Oh, guys, this bus is supposed to have a number. I didn't know that. Is there any chance that we have missed it?" Because numbered buses, they were at the bus stop further. I was like looking for the name of this bus, not the number, and I figured maybe it stopped over there because it had a number, and I just didn't figure it out because I was pretty tired at that point. And they're like, "Here's the sign, then this bus has to stop here." I was ready for the fact that I missed the bus. It was not a problem because the ticket cost €4. It's not that much. If I miss it, it wasn't a big deal. I still had lots of time. What I decided to do is to go to the bus stop further and check for any additional signs out there. And the moment I went there, those 2 Italians decided to go and check for signs as well. The moment I approached that stop, we saw this Regia bus going to the bus stop. We were like, "Oh, okay, here it is." It was 20 minutes late, but it was there. And I was like, yay, okay. And I really didn't want to think about how to solve this because jet lag was getting there. But luckily, I didn't have to solve this issue. Woo, 20 minutes late, whatever. The trip from airport to bus station was about 35-40 minutes, and I had a chance to see Prague for the first time. And I'm telling you, this is one of the most beautiful cities I have ever seen in my life. Unfortunately, I spent a couple of hours there and I didn't have a chance to walk a lot, but I'm so thrilled that I'm gonna be hanging out with my friends there for a couple of days by the end of this Euro trip. We all do need more Prague. I have been walking a lot at the airport terminals in Prague just because when you have to sit that much, walking is the only thing that can be a relief for your back and for your body overall. So I've been walking as much as I could. Everything went kinda as planned, but not really because the bus was delayed for 1 hour 30 minutes, and the big problem was that there was an update in the app, but nothing mentioned this delay on any of the tableaus on the bus station. Everyone was basically running around the bus station trying to figure out what happened. Delayed happened, and it was exactly 1 hour and a half. Kinda didn't matter that much because we arrived to Kyiv 3 hours before the scheduled time. Turns out it happens a lot. Scheduled time does matter, but eventually it matters how much time you spend at the customs. By far, this was the most difficult part for me because after having 2 flights and having a massive jet lag, I didn't sleep over 2 days. I tried to sleep while we were flying. It just didn't happen at all. And sleeping in the bus, it was basically impossible. There were a couple of times that when I fell asleep for maybe 30 minutes, it happened a couple of times, and I got to bed at maybe 9 p.m. Kyiv time. And by the time it happened, I just want to sleep. There is nothing I want to do. You can feel it. And to be fair, I knew that this was the best way not to have long-lasting jet lag. I pushed myself through exhaustion. So by the time I got here, I just fell asleep. I fell asleep at 9 and I woke up at 8 a.m. today. I actually had to use alarm clock because I felt the need to sleep more, but I pushed myself through this feeling because if I have slept more, I would have had trouble waking up the next day. I know how it works. You have to be strict to yourself. I think I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to. Bye!